Alright, so what's on the news today? No. 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 No! So you want to find out about Renato Sanches? He's bad. He's bad. Please don't touch him. Please don't touch him. What? What? Oh fuck! Yeah, he's gone already. Fine. Guess have to be honest. He's pretty freaking good. Alright, he's pretty good. Is that good enough for you? How about this? Not enough? Well, how about this?
Vemos Renato mais solto e mais perto. Atenção, Renato tirando o gol! Do miúdo!
You want to know details? Fine, I will torture myself and I'll let you know who the fuck is Renato Sanches. So today, it's just been announced that Bayern Munich has signed Renato Sanches for 35 million euros plus 45 million euros if objectives are met, which means it could go up to 80 million euros for Renato Sanches. And I think for all us Benfica fans out there,
hello darkness, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping.
So who is Renato Sanches? I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there right now are just wondering who is this 18-year-old who has just been bought by Bayern Munich for what could be 80 million euros. I mean, Renato Sanches started playing for Benfica when he was 9 years old. Benfica bought Renato from the club that he was playing in. He was playing for near his home for 25 footballs. Yeah, that's right, for 25 footballs, and now could be selling him for 80 million euros. But yeah, I mean, he's been at Benfica for a very long time, and his progression was always noticed. This wasn't a player that just came about, out of nowhere, you could say. There were times when he was playing for, the youth team, and people wanted to call him up, to the B team, because he was just playing at a level above the players around him. He was just that good. I mean, this wasn't a player that just came about out of nowhere and just had this one amazing season. I mean, this progression was always noted at a youth level. If you're wondering what he is, I mean, he is a typical number 8. What does that mean? He's just a great box-to-box player. He is capable of playing in a midfield with 2 or 3 players. At Benfica, he's been playing. Benfica play in a 4-4-2, so he's been playing in that second player in the midfield, the more offensive midfielder. Taking the ball forward, but obviously being that box-to-box midfielder, also tracking back and getting the ball back, which is one of his best attributes. I think he is best with 3 players in the midfield, because he will be that box-to-box player that can get the ball back, take the ball forward, but he lacks the quality with his passing and his decision making, which is why I think if you could have a player that plays alongside him who could be that player to make that final pass, make that decision going forward, then it would just make a better player with him. Because right now he just doesn't have that quality, and he will bring more to the team. If you're expecting Renato Sanches to be that creative player, then you're going to be disappointed, because he's just not. Once in a while he can definitely produce it, but that's definitely not his strong suit. That's where he makes his most mistakes, is losing the ball. His passing percentage has been very low recently, just because of his decision making just isn't great. But then again, he's only 18 years old. let me give you an idea. Renato Sanches obviously came into the light this season. He came onto a Benfica team who started the season terribly. They lost the Super Cup to Sporting Lisbon. They already dropped points, many points at the start of the season. They lost 3-0 to Sporting Lisbon again in their game at home to them. They lost to Porto away. They were just having a terrible season, and playing terrible football. And simple as that. I think all Benfica fans can admit that. And it wasn't looking good. I mean, it just wasn't looking good. And then all of a sudden, here comes this 18-year-old, which some of the Benfica fans didn't know about, but anyone who obviously, as I said, was paying attention to the youth teams and our B team knew of this kid and how good he was. And we all had this hope that maybe he could bring something to the team, because we needed it. We need someone in that midfield to bring this team together, and that's exactly what Renato did. He brought the ability for us to take our game forward quickly, bring more speed to the team, more dynamic. I mean, let's look at his strengths, right? So, as I mentioned, his biggest probably strength is his strength. I mean, his physical ability is very impressive, for an 18-year-old. I mean, the way that he can just push, a player much older than him, out of the way, and even, a bigger player that you'd think would be, stronger, is absolutely impressive. And his physical strength really helps with another part of his game, which I think he's very, very good at, which is his ability to recover the ball. Because of his strength, he can very quickly, push a player out of the way, in the best sense, and get the ball back. I mean, he's also got a big tank, right? He can just run the whole 90 minutes non-stop, which makes him just a great box-to-box. Just ability for him to take the ball forward and then on a counter-attack very quickly come back, and get the ball back, take it forward again. It's just that's really what makes Renato Sanches. That's really what he is. I mean, for an 18-year-old, even though he doesn't always make the best decisions, he really helps dictate the tempo in the midfield, which was really what Benfica needed. They didn't have anyone who could get the ball and add some speed into the game. They were always playing at a very slow tempo, and that's what Renato Sanches really brought to this team and really influenced everyone else around him, and catching the opponents by surprise at times. Just his ability to quickly recover the ball and take it forward. I mean, he's not the best player on the ball, but he's still very good and can dribble past players. Has seen many times. He's done it before, and that's definitely a very strong aspect of his game. Bayern Munich have a very strong midfield, as we all know. I believe they're probably going to make some changes. There's probably some players that are going to end up leaving. I don't know, obviously, Götze, maybe Thiago might leave, even though he's a great player, so I don't know. Xabi Alonso, they have a lot of great players in that midfield. Where is that Sanches going to fit? I'm not sure. Obviously, I'm 100% sure he'll be playing. Will he be playing all the time? I don't think he'll be on the starting 11 every game. But he will definitely be playing, and he will fit perfectly in that aggressive pressuring style that Bayern Munich have. Will Carlo Ancelotti continue? That's how I believe he will, and I believe he'll put Renato Sanches in there. I think a lot of people are comparing him to Vidal, and there are definitely some aspects which are comparable. I think Renato Sanches is more of a player. I think Vidal, as we've seen, even us, unfortunately, in the games that he played against us, he was definitely a midfielder who would like to get into the box, good in the air, just wanted to get into the box and score. I mean, Renato Sanches is more of a midfielder that will stay outside of the box. He will take shots quite confidently. Doesn't score always, but he scored a great goal for us before, and he's definitely got that ability. He's got a strong shot in him, and that's definitely something he can improve in his game. And who knows, he can even be more of a danger from that area. I mean, as I was saying, his passing ability is really, for me, in my opinion, where he lacks. Sometimes you need someone who will, open up the game. Sometimes you have teams sitting back a lot in very tight lines, and he's not always capable of creating something. He plays it to the side, plays it backwards. Sometimes he tries to create something, gets himself in the bottle, loses the ball, and puts the team in a very awkward situation. I mean, if you look at his numbers, unfortunately I don't have any numbers for the Portuguese league, but if you go and look at his six games that he played in the Champions League, he managed an 84% pass completion, which is still pretty good at the highest level. But for a player playing in that number 8 role, I think you definitely need something better, because you want your player to be able to recover the ball, carry the ball forward, and be able to pass it to one of the other more creative players. If your number 8 loses the ball, it leaves your team in a very dangerous situation at the back. Sometimes outnumbered on the counter attack, and that's as I said, the area where he's burnt Benfica sometimes. Being 18 years old, he doesn't make the smartest decision. I mean, very recently in Benfica's last game, he got sent off in 2 bad decisions by him that could have cost Benfica, the title, by dropping points in that game. So he's got to learn. I think if you're a Bayern Munich fan and you're expecting him to come into your team and be mature, smart, world style player, then don't be surprised when he ain't. But I believe and I know he's got all the potential to get there, and I think that's what Bayern Munich are paying for. I think they're paying for the potential. They're not playing and the player that he is now already, which is a great player, but they're playing for that potential because they know what could come of it. Right, guys, thank you for watching. This has been my I guess short report on Renato Sanches, strengths, some of his weaknesses, and how good of a player I think he is, how good of a player he might become. And hey, I wish him all the luck at Bayern Munich. I hope to see him do well, and hey, I hope Bayern Munich take care of him, because they have a gem in their hands, that's for sure. And I'll see you guys next time.